busted and had to vacate the speaker's chair.
Yeah.
You were one of the 6 abstentions from that vote, were you not?
That's right.
Yeah.
And in his initial vote, you voted against him?
Yes, I did, and that was because, and I knew that he is so beholden to the firefighters union that he was going to hurt my people in Coventry. Central Coventry Fire District is that other issue that you mentioned. You know, the people had seen their fire bills double in less than 6 years. I mean, their bills were going up 15, 18% a year. And finally they said, we can't afford this. I mean, most people, their fire is right in their property taxes. In Coventry, they get a property tax from the town, and they get a fire tax from the fire district. They were paying, you know, $900, $800, $900, sometimes over $1,000 just for fire. And they
annually, $1,000, or is this a quarterly?
Annually.
Annually,
but that's a lot because they're also paying $5,000 or $6,000, you know, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 for property taxes.
right?
That's a lot of money.
I live in Woonsocket. You don't have to. I'll play the fiddle
yeah,
for high property taxes.
Woonsocket too. Listen, I got into politics to help people and to represent the best interest of the largest number of people, right? And I walk my district. I know the folks in my district. They're just average folks. They get up every morning. They work hard. They try to raise their family, pay their bills, prepare for the future. They can't afford what we keep shoving down on them from Smith Hill. They just can't.
Is there any future for any level of voter initiative in the state of Rhode Island? I mean, ultimately, that's what your bill speaks to, doesn't it?
That's right. You know what? It's so encouraging that everybody is energized by this PawSox vote because these are the kinds of things that wake people up to the fact that they need to vote, right? They need to be able to weigh in. And I would love to see some kind of voter initiative, voter referendum, citizen-driven. You know, to me, when people vote on something, the people who are trying to make the decisions, well, they have to be more transparent. They really have to study the issue. I mean, think of 38 Studios. That was just a group of insiders who got around a table and said, gee, this is a good deal, right? Yeah, it's a good deal. And they just patted each other on the back, and they spent $100 million of ours.
Well,
Right.
I mean, it was a roll of the dice. I mean, there's no question about that.
Their homework. If they'd done their homework, they would have said, "Oh, maybe it's not a good deal. Maybe it won't happen. They need a whole lot more money." The things we're finding out now. The same with this stadium. When people
how much do you think?
Back,
How much do you think that has to do with, you know, always wanting to make the big splash? You know, I hate to use the baseball terminology here, but everybody's always swinging for the fences. They want that one thing that's going to just, you know, put a blanket over everything and make it all feel better, rather than focusing on small business, existing businesses, strengths that you already have.
Yeah.
You know, what I like to call the physics of economic development. You know, it's easier to accelerate an already moving object than it is to get a standing still object to move.
Yeah, you know, it's hard work to go back and say, okay, we've made some really bad choices over the last 30, 40 years, right? We have too many regulations. It's a hostile business climate. The electric rates are too high. The utility rates are too high. Our infrastructure really needs, you know, to be, you know, our water infrastructure, and just different things. It's hard to go back because that's mundane stuff. Okay, we're gonna work on regulations. It's not a headline there, is there?
No, it's
No.
it's
and
not
I
the
think
sexy
that's what
issue.
You're saying. Everybody wants the headline. Oh, look, I brought a stadium. Oh, look, I brought 38 studios. And then what ends up happening, anytime there's a pot of money, there are people who like to put their hands in it.
Yeah.
Is it fair to say at this point that the Commerce Corporation, you know, predeceased, if you will, by the Economic Development Corporation, is an abject failure, needs to go away, and perhaps needs to be rethought from scratch?
You know, I don't want to characterize it like that. But this is what I think. We have a bad foundation here, right? Imagine you're a salesman and you have to sell a bad product. So you keep having to put ornaments on it, try to make it look pretty. Talk fast about, oh, it's a wonderful place, you got to come, blah, blah. You have to have a good foundation first. The things that we were just talking about, a good regulatory environment, a litigation climate that's not so hostile to business. You have to have less expensive electricity. You have to have all kinds of things that businesses are looking at. Better education, better educated people, workers. So those things are really hard to get, but that's what we need. Rhode Island needs to do its homework just to fix the things that we have done poorly.
Right.
Because then Commerce Rhode Island can sell us without saying, hey, look, we've got $25 million. Will you come for $25 million?
Well,
right?
it really is. It really is a generational issue. And unfortunately, at this point, I do feel that we're 1 to 2 generations away from really repairing the damage that the leadership of Rhode Island hath wrought upon this state over the last, say, 15 to 20 years in particular. All the issues that you talked about today. One last quick.
But it's so nice that you're trying to get people engaged, and I really hope that people will call the speaker, will call the governor and the Senate president and say they want to vote on this. They don't want them sitting in a room, yucking it up with one another, tapping each other on the back and saying, yeah, let's go spend $300 million on a new stadium in Providence.
Right. Now, politically, I'm going to put you on the spot a little bit. You seem to be the voice of the Republican opposition in this state. Are there bigger things on the table for you in terms of going for either the House Minority Leadership, other political jobs you might be looking for, or are you content to work within the framework that you're in right now?
I am content to work right where I am right now. I think I am making a difference. I think I'm helping the people in my district and in the state of Rhode Island. And, I just think I'm bringing common sense to the table up there, and I'm not afraid to just say what everybody else is thinking.
Absolutely. I don't just think you're trying to. You are doing that, and congratulations to you for being a voice of the opposition in the states that so desperately needs one that preaches common sense and is willing to stay on message. So congratulations. The door is open to you anytime. We'd love to have you in studio soon. We could spend an entire hour going over some of these issues. What would you tell right now citizens to do about the pending legislation and or the prospects of the stadium? What should they be doing this week coming up to stop this?
Well, I think your previous guest has it right. Sign petitions. Go around your neighborhood. Get a petition going. Send it in, right? Call the speaker, the Senate president, the governor, and say, you don't want this thing. I mean, if you think about it, they want $120 million to build the stadium on land that is very expensive because it took a lot to create it, right? So
right.
Figure the land's worth $20 million. Then they want a parking garage. It's another $40 million. Then they want to move the infrastructure there. That's another $30 million. Then they want all for free taxes. Put in $90 million there. This is a very expensive building. And then on top of it, it robs that particular piece of land from having full-time, year-round, diverse jobs.
Well said.
So there's an opportunity lost there. Meanwhile, we've got a wonderful stadium up in Pawtucket called McCoy Stadium.
I love it there.
Families can go and watch baseball for not too much money.
Yep.
There you go. Couldn't have said it better myself. We've been listening to Deputy Minority Speaker Patricia Morgan from Coventry. Ms. Morgan, thank you for coming on the show. And again, the door is open to you here anytime.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Rep. Take care.
Bye-bye.
All right. A whirlwind show. You can tell it in our voices. Joining us next is someone that I've been looking forward to talking on the air for quite some time. Over the past few weeks, we met folks at the CannaCon here in Providence. If you go to our website, we broadcast live from there, where we saw a panoply, if you will, a wide variety of both products and services available to the medical cannabis community here in Rhode Island. We had the great opportunity to meet the fine folks from Superstar Vapor. And joining us live on the air is Ariana. Ariana, out there, joining us from Arizona.
Yes, hi, how are you?
Great.
Doing well, thank you.
Great. Thanks for joining us today. Tell us about your company and tell us about your products.
Okay, Superstar has been open for about a year now. We have come out with 2 separate 3-in-1 vapor pen kits that allow you to use your to vaporize for dry tobacco products, concentrate wax products for medicinal purposes, and any e-liquid brand out there, you're allowed to vape with our pens.
All right. Now tell the audience, for those people who aren't familiar with vaping, just give us just kind of a insight on how it works.
Vaping is a healthier alternative to smoking. It has different ambers. Vaping originally came out for people who are looking to quit smoking cigarettes, where we have our own premium e-liquid line, where we have over 30 flavors of nicotine-based propylene glycerin and vegetable glycerin premium e-liquids, where you're allowed to vape without using any of the toxins.
Right. So essentially you're taking it in a liquid format in a pen-like device that you're essentially, you're getting the vapors, if you will, off the product without a lot of the extra carcinogens normally associated with smoking.
Without burning. I mean, it's the difference between smoke and steam.
Smoke and steam. All right.
Correct.
Now, you folks have come out with some really revolutionary stuff over the last few months that directly addresses the medical cannabis community and, we'll call it cannabis as a healthy lifestyle. Tell us a little bit more about that.
Yes, we did just release our cannabinoid CBD premium e-liquids. They are 30 milligram cannabinoid e-liquids. We have over 10 flavors right now. It is an amazing product. It actually eases pains. It stimulates bone growth, stops bacteria, suppresses muscle spasms, and slows inflammation, reduces blood sugar levels, reduces the risk of artery obstruction, controls certain cancer. So it's really a great product for any pain or nausea.
Now, and this is in a very large sense, this is an organic product that's devoid of the THC that you would typically associate with cannabis, and in terms of quote unquote getting stoned. This is the healthier. What you guys have done is essentially separate the healthy aspects of cannabis and turned it into a delivery system which anyone can use without having to involve the carcinogens generated by smoke. Correct?
Correct. And with these CBD oils, you don't need a medical license to use them. There's nothing in them that would cause a failed drug test or anything like that.
Right. So this is really, in a very large sense, almost a healthy supplement to your day-to-day life.
Correct.
Wow. That's things have come a long way in the last 20 years, Dave Fisher. Tell us about some of the places where we can, we as consumers here in New England, I know that you've got a sales organization out here in New England. I guess, first off, is there, we're broadcasting out of the greater Providence area. You have this in stores now in the Providence area?
Yes, I do. We are in a bunch of stores over there. Let me pull up my stores. I'm sorry.
No worries. But you've also got a sales force in place looking to work with retail vendors here in the greater Providence and Boston area, correct?
Correct.
And where can they go to on the website to find information, or what is your website? Give us some contact information as to what and where.
Our website right now is superstarvaporpens.com.
Which, by the way, is available on a direct link from the coalitionradio.us website, so you'll be able to link from them there. And then, in terms of retail sales, who's heading up the retail sales force out here in the greater Providence, Boston area?
We're in a bunch of stores out there at 38 Freedom Tobacco. We're in the Headlines in North Conaway. We're in Happy Days. We're in Swiss Tattoo. We're in Freak Street Imports in Portland.
Okay. So you're all over New England then?
Yeah.
But you're
It's one of our greatest districts right now.
right, and you're
And
looking
we're moving along more west.
right, and you're looking to grow.